Yasin, did you attend the last class? Who attended the last class? I think Ishul was there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Yasin was not there, huh?
No, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it's my humble request if you can
Even
repeat a bit and
even
then we can continue.
even Safa wasn't there. I think
Yes, I wasn't.
even Khalifa wasn't. There were only just okay, Ishal and Hafi. I think they joined the last. I will I will repeat a bit. Okay, but we cannot repeat the whole lesson. I will repeat a bit so that we connect it to today's lesson. Okay, there is a connection between what we did in the last class and what we are gonna do today. Let's begin. Okay, let me remind all those who did not attend the last class, Yasin and Safa. In the last class, we discussed inheritance and variations. Okay, so what we understand by inheritance, Yasin, can you tell us what is inheritance?
I don't know.
Okay, okay, that's good. If you don't know, okay. Yes, Ishal, do
So
tell
it's
us
the
what
passing
is.
on.
Okay.
So it's the passing on of genes from parents to the offsprings.
Passing of genes or passing of characters from
The
parents to
characteristics,
offsprings. Okay, so
yeah,
that's
features.
yes, that's what we understand by inheritance. Now, see, just a second. Okay, is this whiteboard visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's have a quick recap what we discussed in the last class, so that we connect it to the class that we shall have today. So we discussed inheritance and variations. Okay, so inheritance, as Ishal was describing, it is the simply passing of characters from parents to offsprings. Okay, uh, when I say characters, characters means, for example, the color of your skin is a character. Okay, the blood group that you have is a character. Okay, the number of eyes you have is again a character. The color of your eye, okay, that is again a character. So we actually get these characters from parents in the form of genes that we discussed in the last class. Okay, so this passing of characters from parents to offsprings is what we understand by inheritance. Okay, and the subject which deals with it. Okay, how does this inheritance takes place? How this passing of characters, how this passing of genes from parents to offsprings, how does it occur? Okay, the branch of science which deals with it, that's what we call genetics. Okay, so when we study inheritance, we are actually studying genetics. Okay, and inheritance is also called, we also call it heredity. Okay, so that's why Humans actually give rise to humans only. Okay, they produce their same kind. They don't produce any other species. Okay, they produce their own kind. So that's why that characters always transmit from parents to offsprings. Okay, in the form of the genes which are present there on the chromosomes that we shall study later in this class. But if you see, if we study these characters, let's take one character. Okay, let's take blood group. We discussed this example in the last class as well. Now, blood group is a character. Okay, uh, and we do get this character from our parents, but it's not always that we will have the same blood group as our parents. Okay, you will get to know about it in higher classes. Okay, so blood group is a character. Okay, but is it possible that we all over here have the same blood group?
Can not be possible.
It is possible, but it can't be possible. Okay, may or may not be possible. But when we talk of human population, it's not possible. Okay, so when we talk of selected few people, yes, it is possible that we can have the same blood group. But when we talk of the entire human population, it is not possible. Okay, uh, if we check out the blood group of different students, yeah, different participants in this class. Okay, for example, my blood group is O. Okay, uh, do you know your blood groups? Do you know your blood groups?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what's it?
Mine is A positive.
Okay, let's write A. Okay, let's we can discuss this positive negative later. Yeah. Uh, what about others?
So I had confirmed, and mine is also A positive.
Okay, so you're also A. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any B who has got blood group B? Is there any? Yasin, what's your blood group?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Uh, one more that you can find in the human population is AB. Okay. So these are the four possibilities. Positive, negative, we can discuss later. Okay. So either one can have O. Okay. O positive or O negative. One can have A, again A positive or A negative. B, B positive or B negative, or one can have AB. Okay, so these are the four possibilities. ये चार possibilities हैं. Okay, so it means as far as this character, okay, blood group is concerned. Okay, do we show differences? Yes or no? Do we show differences as far as this blood group is concerned? Do we show differences, or we all have the same blood group?
We all don't have the same blood.
So we show differences, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We do show differences. Okay, हम differences दिखाते हैं. For example, मेरा O है. Okay, you have got A. Okay, some has got B, some has got AB. Okay, so we differ when it comes to this character, that's blood group. Okay, let's forget about blood group for a second. Let's think about the skin color. Okay, so let's take all the humans, okay, which actually live on this planet. Do we show differences as far as skin color is concerned, or we all have the same skin color?
We show differences.
We show differences. So if you look at any other character, ये तो दो की example मैं दे रहा हूँ. I can give you n number of examples. Okay, so in all characters we show differences. हम differences दिखाते हैं. We are not identical. Okay, In blood group, we are not identical. In skin color, we are not identical. Okay, we do show differences. Now, these differences that we show in a character, do remember, these differences that we show in a
Excuse me,
character.
sir. Can you let Sajid in?
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, these differences that we show in a character, okay, in blood group we show these differences: A B and O. Okay, uh, can I call them character differences?
Yes, sir.
Okay, or these character differences in genetics, in biology, okay, we also call them traits. Okay, so do understand the difference between character and character differences or traits. Okay, the differences that you find, okay, in human population as far as a character is concerned, okay, whether it is blood group, whether it is skin color, okay, whether it is the color of your eye, okay, whether it is the color of your hair, okay, उसमें भी हम differences दिखाते हैं. Okay, so these are all these differences that you find in a character, you call them traits. Okay, now these characters, okay, for all these characters, इन सारे characters के लिए they don't appear in humans all of a sudden. Okay, there are factors responsible. इनके लिए factors responsible होते हैं इन characters के लिए, and those factors are what we call genes. हर एक character के लिए there is a cause responsible, there is a factor responsible. That factor is called gene. Okay, उस factor को हम gene कहते हैं. Okay, now if you see, and we will get to know where are these genes, okay, what are they actually chemically made up of. Okay, like for example, for the digestion of your food, okay, different components which are present in your food, there are some factors, there are some molecules responsible. What do you call those molecules? What do you call those factors which are responsible for digesting different components in your food? Whether it is carbohydrates, whether these are fats or lipids or proteins.
Enzymes.
Good, you call them enzymes. Great. And what are these enzymes chemically? They are chemically proteins. Okay, they are made up of proteins. Same is the case. You have different characters from blood group to the color of your skin. Okay, uh, even if you get to the gender, that's also a character. Okay, that's also a character. Do we all have the same gender? No, some are male, some are female. Okay, so for all this, for all these characters, there are factors responsible. उन्हीं factors को हम genes कहते हैं. Okay, we call those factors genes. Okay, now see, when, for example, for this blood group, the gene responsible, there is a gene responsible. Okay, if this gene would have been same in all humans, अगर ये gene same होता सारे human beings में, do tell me, is it possible that we would have different blood groups? अगर ये gene same होता, okay, if this gene, if this factor would have been same, okay, in all human beings, अगर ये सारे human beings में same होता, so there shouldn't be such differences in this character. ये differences तो फिर नहीं होने चाहिए, फिर तो हर एक human being का एक ही blood group होना चाहिए. So if this blood group, if this character shows differences, it means it's actually this gene which is responsible for this character. Okay, it has got different variations. इसकी different variations हैं. So if there are variations in character, there are variations in gene as well, which results in those variations, जिसकी वजह से वो variations arise होती हैं. And those variations in a gene, we refer to them as alleles, or we call them allelomorphs. MORPHs. You got this point?
Yes, sir.
Shall I repeat?
No, sir.
Blood group is a character, okay? For this character, your skin color is a character. For this skin color, there is a gene responsible, okay? But when we study this skin color, when we see this skin color in different human beings, it's different. It means there are differences in gene as well, which results in these differences. Okay, so that's why there are differences in a character. Okay, and those differences in gene, those variations in gene में जो variations है, gene में जो differences हैं, so this gene doesn't exist in one variant. Okay, it exists in different variations, it exists in different forms. Okay, and those forms are called alleles or allelomorphs. उन forms को alleles या allelomorphs कहते हैं. Okay, so the variations in a gene, okay, those are called alleles or allelomorphs. For example, जो gene responsible है blood group के लिए, let's represent it by I. Okay, human population में it has been found इसके 3 वेरिएशंस हैं. इट एग्जिस्ट्स इन 3 फॉर्म्स. ये 3 फॉर्म्स में एग्जिस्ट करता है. एक को कहते हैं आई ए, सेकंड इज कॉल्ड आई बी, थर्ड इज कॉल्ड आई नॉट, और वी आल्सो रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय स्मॉल आई. इसको स्मॉल आई से भी रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. ओके, सो दीज आर द 3 फॉर्म्स. ओके, so these forms are different forms are present in different human beings. In some, it gives rise to blood group O. In some, it gives rise to A. In others, it gives rise to B. In some others, it gives rise to AB. Okay? So, gene के भी different variations होती है. इसीलिए we differ in characters. हम characters में differences इसीलिए दिखाते हैं क्योंकि जो gene responsible है इन characters के लिए उसमें variations है. वो एक ही फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है, वो डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स में एग्जिस्ट करता है. ठीक. So for example, there is one form of the gene which results in black color of the skin. There is another form of the same gene which results in, okay, the white skin, the whites, the Europeans. Okay, so it has got different variations. Okay, now where do we find these genes? अब ये genes होते कहाँ हैं? Okay, that is the bigger question. What we are made up of?
Cells.
हम cells के बने हैं. Okay, and are we unicellular or multicellular?
Multicellular.
We are multicellular. Okay, we have trillions of cells in our body, but we have started our life with just one cell. And what is that one cell?
Zygote.
Zygote. Okay, if we go back in our life cycle, we have started off our life with this cell zygote, which was formed due to the fusion of fertilization of male and female gamete. Okay, that is the egg and the sperm. Okay, and this cell was formed, and we all have started off our life from this single cell zygote. Okay, now in a cell Suppose, let us suppose this is a cell. Okay, within the cell there is a structure. What do you call? Nucleus. Okay, and each cell is surrounded by a membrane. Shabash, what do you call this?
Cell membrane.
Cell membrane, or it's also called plasma membrane. What else is present in the cell?
Cell wall.
That is in plant cells. Okay, yes, except cell wall. Cell wall exists outside cell membrane. Okay, so that is an extracellular structure. Okay, वो एक extracellular structure है that is present outside the cell, outside the plasma membrane. Okay, and do remember, जो definite membrane है ना, okay, the defined membrane of a cell, जो defined membrane cell का होता है, that is cell membrane or plasma membrane. इसके बाहर जो भी होता है, we call it extracellular. For example, cell wall in some bacteria and in all plants. Okay, अच्छा. Can you name any structures other than nucleus which are present in the cell, inside the cell?
So vacuoles.
Good.
Cytoplasm.
Nucleus.
Cytoplasm, nucleus. Okay. Other than nucleus, have you heard the name mitochondrion?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Have you heard the name lysosomes?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER.
Yes, sir.
So there
No,
are
I
so
don't think
many.
so.
No, sir.
You will get to know those, all those structures. Okay, so let's focus on nucleus today. Okay, now within this nucleus, okay, there are uh, structures. Okay, let us show them like this. So these are thread like structures. Okay, like this. Let us show them like this. These thread like structures which are present in the nucleus, these are referred as chromosomes. What do you call them?
Chromosomes.
इनको chromosomes कहते हैं. Okay, these are just thread like structures. Okay, suppose this is chromosome 1, the red one is chromosome 2, the green is chromosome 3, and you have in total 23. How many?
23.
But there are two copies of each. Okay, chromosome 1 की दो copies, chromosome 2 की दो copies, chromosome 3 की दो copies. Okay, so if you have two copies of each chromosome, so what would be the total number of chromosomes?
46.
23
46.
multiplied by 2. Okay, like for example, if you have two pens of each color, you have 23 pens. आपके पास 23 pens है, ठीक? 23 different colors of pens आपके पास है, ठीक? 23 different colors of pens. Okay, मगर each color जो है, each color के आपको दो pens हैं. जरा बताओ टोटल पेन्स कितने हैं?
46.
46.
23 into 2, that is 46, क्योंकि हर एक कलर के दो हैं. इसी तरह से हर एक क्रोमोसोम की कितनी कॉपीज हैं? टोटल क्रोमोसोम्स 23 है, लेकिन हर एक की दो कॉपीज हैं, ठीक है ना? सो 23 into 2 is 46. Okay, and even we have taken the photograph of all these 23 different chromosomes. Okay, and two copies of each, that is 46 chromosomes. Okay, that photograph, उस photograph को, to remember this, that's called karyotype. What's it called?
Karyotype.
That photograph of 46 chromosomes, okay, that has been taken, that is called karyotype. Let me show you that photograph. Let me get back. Can you check out this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So these are the 23 chromosomes. Can anyone tell me whether this photograph has been taken uh, chromosomes of male or female?
So
Does this
how are we
How
photograph,
will we
supposed to
know?
know that?
huh?
How are we
How will
supposed
we
to
know?
know that?
It's easy to know. Just check out the last chromosome.
Sir, I think it's yes, sir. Okay,
Sir,
it's
male.
XY.
Sir,
It's
male. Sir,
female,
male. Male.
female,
Male.
female,
No,
Female.
male.
female,
Male. I'll go with
female.
male.
XY
I
Okay,
is
think
okay,
female.
okay.
XY
Sir,
is
I know it's
female.
male.
If it
The
was
right answer
XX,
is
then it
male.
would have been male. If it was
it's
XX, then
XY
it would have
and the
been
Y
male.
is
But
Let's
XY
female.
is
let's
it's female. So what?
let's bet. Yeah.
It's male. XY is male, okay?
Okay.
XX is female, okay? Uh, so XX is female. Now you can see chromosome A, how many copies? Check out. This is one copy, and this is another copy. Chromosome 2 again, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? When you go, they have been arranged in a decreasing size if you check out. So, which one is the largest chromosome? Chromosome 1. Okay? That is the largest in size. When you go, okay, if you check just up till 22, leave aside this one. Okay, 23rd, it's different. So if you check from 1 to 22, okay, this is the decreasing size. Okay, they have been arranged in the order of decreasing size. So the numbering has been given in accordance with the size. Okay, so least the number, greater is the size. Chromosome 1 is greater in size than chromosome 2. 2 is greater in size than 3. Okay, similarly 3 is greater in size than 4, or we can say 22 is uh, less in size, okay, compared to the chromosomes which come before it, whether it's 21, 20, 20, 19, or first. Okay, now see, in males, the difference between the male and the female, that is here when we get to the chromosome 23rd. Okay, when we get to this 23rd, uh, in females, both chromosomes, okay, they have the same size. Okay, so they have the, suppose if this is one chromosome, okay, then there is another chromosome of the same size. Okay, they have the same size. Both chromosomes have the same size. This is X, this is also X. Okay, and when we get to the males, okay, so one chromosome is X, which is very large. Okay, the other is different. That's very small. Okay, that's very small compared to this. Okay, so this green is X again. Let me write it with green only. Okay, and then this is different. This is Y. Okay, so when it comes to 23rd chromosome in males, they are different. Okay, Y is very small compared to X. Okay, but in case of females, both are same. Okay, so both X chromosomes are same and they have the same size, but in us, one is large and the other is small. Okay, so this photograph is what we call कैरियोटाइप. इस फोटोग्राफ को कैरियोटाइप कहते हैं. ओके, इसीलिए डू रिमेंबर, okay, do remember this, it's actually the male who is responsible. What would be the gender of the fetus? Sorry, fetus का gender क्या होगा? Okay, whether it will be a boy or a girl, ये male determine करता है. It is the sperm that determines. Okay, let me show you over here. Okay, uh, male has got one X chromosome and one Y
Yeah.
chromosome. Okay, and do remember we discussed in the class that we had before this. Gametes actually have only one copy of each chromosome. उनके पास एक ही copy होती है. ठीक? So the sperm, suppose here, this is the sign for the male. ये sign male के लिए है. This is the sign for the female. Okay, ये female के लिए. Let us show male here and here is the female. So यहाँ पे जो gamete के पास यानी sperm के पास जो chromosome की copy होगी, either it will be X or it will be Y. Okay, male sperm के पास. अच्छा, egg के पास क्या probability है? वहां पे तो XX ही है ना. So each egg will have what? X chromosome. हर एक egg के पास X chromosome होगा. But एक ही copy. Okay, either this X or this X. Okay. If you see, so फीमेल जो गेमीट्स बनाती है, फीमेल जो एग्स बनाती हैं, वो सेम होते हैं. ओके, सो फीमेल डजंट डिटरमिन. अब देखो, अगर मेल जो स्पर्म है, इफ एक्स फर्टिलाइजेस एक्स, लेट मी शो इट विद रेड. मेल से एक्स आ गया, फीमेल ने भी एक्स कंट्रीब्यूट किया. शाबाश. व्हाट वुड बी द जेंडर, मेल और फीमेल?
So
Female.
it would be female.
Okay, good. Let me show it like this. Female. Okay. अच्छा, अगर अगेन मेल ने एक्स कंट्रीब्यूट किया, फीमेल ने भी, फीमेल तो हमेशा एक्स ही कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी. सो अगेन व्हाट इज द जेंडर? अगेन फीमेल. ओके, शाबाश. अगर मेल ने, इफ द स्पर्म कंटेन्स वाई क्रोमोसोम, फीमेल से क्या आएगा?
X.
ऑलवेज एक्स. सो व्हाट इज द जेंडर?
It's male.
It's male. So who determines now? Is it the sperm or is
Male.
it the egg?
Sperm.
It's the
It is
sperm.
the sperm.
Sperm.
ठीक है ना? If sperm contains X, female. If sperm contains Y, male. So it's actually the male who is responsible, because male doesn't produce all the gametes alike. Some have X chromosome, some have Y chromosome. कुछ के पास X chromosome है, कुछ के पास Y है. अगर X, the sperm that has got X chromosome, उसने fertilize किया egg को. For example, if this is the egg, okay, and this is the sperm. इसके पास तो X already है. अगर इसके पास भी X है, इसने fertilize किया egg को, so XX, तो female. But if this is egg, it contains X chromosome. This is sperm. If it contains Y chromosome, so इसको fertilize करेगा, it will be XY. So it will be male. So it's actually the sperm that determines the gender of the fetus. But in our societies, okay, it's always the female, the mother, who is responsible for giving birth to this uh, female or the male children. Okay, so actually, biologically, okay, it's the male who is responsible. Okay, so males should be punished for this, not the females. Okay, they are who are responsible for this. So this is the karyotype. Okay, and the factors for characters that we were discussing, those factors we call, earlier we used to call them factors, but now we call them genes. Those are actually present on these chromosomes. वो इन्हीं chromosomes पे present होते हैं. Okay, those are present on these chromosomes. Some are present on chromosome 1, some are present on 2, some on 3, 4, 5, 6, up till 23rd. Okay, for example, the gene for the formation of testes. Okay, testes के बनने के लिए जो जीन रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, वो क्रोमोसोम Y पे होता है. That's present on chromosome Y. Okay, so females के पास तो क्रोमोसोम Y होता ही नहीं है, इसलिए उनमें testes तो नहीं बनेंगे. Okay, that's why testes are formed in males only because they have this chromosome Y. The gene for formation of testes is present on chromosome Y. वो chromosome Y पे होता है. Okay, we also call it SRY gene. हम इसको कहते हैं SRY gene. Okay, so we call that gene SRY gene. Okay, so this is actually sex determining region. Okay, on Y chromosome. SRY means sex determining. R is region, Y is on Y chromosome. So this is the gene which is present on Y chromosome, and it is what determines the sex. It's what results in the formation of the testes, and when testes are formed, okay, so the gender is a boy. Okay, so genes are present on these chromosomes. Okay, let's check out the next. So there are 23 chromosomes, but there are 2 copies of each chromosome. So in total, our cells have got 46 chromosomes. And these cells which have got 2 copies of each chromosome, we refer to these cells as diploid cells. In cells को diploid cells कहते हैं. Okay? But if we compare them with gametes, that is sperms and eggs, they don't have 2 copies of each chromosome. They have just 1 copy of each chromosome. We refer to those cells as haploid, okay, which have just 1 copy of each chromosome. Now, so we got to the point that genes किन पे होते हैं?
Chromosomes.
Chromosomes पे. And where are the chromosomes present?
Inside the nucleus.
They're present in the nucleus of a cell. Okay. So इसका मतलब है आपके जितने भी characters हैं, okay, we were just discussing the gender, okay. So it's actually the gene on the Y chromosome which determines the formation of testes, okay. So इसका मतलब है आपके जितने भी characters हैं, okay, उनको कंट्रोल करते हैं जीन्स. जीन्स क्रोमोसोम्स पे प्रेजेंट हैं और क्रोमोसोम्स न्यूक्लियस में हैं. सो वी कैन से आपके जितने भी फंक्शंस हैं, आपके जितने भी कैरेक्टर्स हैं, ओके, उनको जो कंट्रोल करता है दैट इज द न्यूक्लियस. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी समटाइम्स रेफर न्यूक्लियस एज द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द सेल, क्योंकि it is the nucleus which actually controls the functions. Okay, the genes present on chromosomes, they actually determine the, we can say, the characters which are there in uh, offspring. Okay, so genes ही determine करते हैं. और अगर genes में changes आ जाएंगी, okay, जिनको हम mutations कहते हैं, that leads to disorders as well that you will study in your higher classes. So genes are present on chromosomes. If we go back to the diagram that we had drawn, okay, not this one. Okay, where was that? Yes. Okay. So these are the chromosomes which are present, okay, in your cells, okay, and they contain the genes. Now see, an important thing that you need to remember. Suppose this is chromosome 1, okay. There is a gene present on it. Let me draw that with red. Okay. ये इसकी दूसरी कॉपी है. Okay. Let us suppose this is that gene which is responsible for the blood group. Okay. Let us suppose it is IA. And here again, it is IA. Okay. Now see, द पोजीशन ऑफ दिस जीन, जो जीन की पोजीशन होती है क्रोमोसोम पे, उसको हम कहते हैं जीन लोकस। दैट्स कॉल्ड जीन लोकस। उसको हम कहते हैं क्या? ओके, जो पोजीशन जीन की होती है क्रोमोसोम पे, ठीक है ना, क्रोमोसोम पे ये जीन कहाँ पे है, ठीक है ना, वेयर दिस जीन इज प्रेजेंट, इसकी कोई पोजीशन होगी ना क्रोमोसोम पे, तो जो इसकी पोजीशन होती है दैट्स कॉल्ड जीन लोकस। ओके, एंड डू रिमेंबर, एक जीन के कितने भी फॉर्म्स होंगे, अभी हमने देखा द जीन आई विच इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर a blood group, okay, it has three forms, IA, IB, I naught. इन फॉर्म्स को हम क्या कहते हैं? Alleles. Okay, it has three alleles. It exists in human population in these three forms. ये इन तीन forms में human population में exist करता है. Okay, now see, these three forms which are called alleles, इनका gene locus same होता है. Okay, so the alleles of a gene के जितने भी alleles होंगे इनका जीन लोकस सेम होता है, यानी द पोजीशन ऑफ दीज एलील्स ऑन क्रोमोसोम दैट इज सेम, वो डिफाइंड होती है, वो सेम होती है. ओके, दे कैन नॉट मूव टू सम अदर पोजीशन, देयर पोजीशन ऑन द क्रोमोसोम, किस क्रोमोसोम पे और कहाँ पे, ओके, उस क्रोमोसोम पे कहाँ पे ये प्रेजेंट है, विच इज कॉल्ड जीन लोकस. ओके, सो जीन लोकस सेम होता है. सो ये जो एलील्स हैं ये एक चीज में दे आर आइडेंटिकल, एक चीज में ये आइडेंटिकल है, एक चीज इनमें कॉमन है और वो है जीन लोकस. इनकी पोजीशन क्रोमोसोम पे सेम होती है. ओके, सपोज समवन हैज गॉट ब्लड ग्रुप ए, उसमें जो दो फॉर्म्स इस जीन के हैं दैट आई ए, सपोज देयर इज अनदर पर्सन, उसमें ब्लड ग्रुप बी है. ओके, सो उसमें भी ये आई बी फॉर्म इसी जीन का दैट विल बी प्रेजेंट ऑन द सेम क्रोमोसोम और पोजीशन भी सेम होगी. सपोज दिस इज आई बी, इसका ब्लड ग्रुप बी होगा, इसका ब्लड ग्रुप ए होगा, इसका ब्लड ग्रुप बी होगा. ठीक है ना? अच्छा, जरा मुझे इसका बताओ, दिस इज वन मोर पर्सन, सपोज दिस इज मी और दिस इज सम अदर पर्सन. इसके पास जो दो एलील्स हैं, दो फॉर्म्स हैं इस जीन के, सेम क्रोमोसोम, सेम पोजीशन ऑन द जीन, इट हैज गॉट आई ए आई बी. शाबाश. इसका ब्लड ग्रुप क्या होगा?
AB.
AB.
इसका ब्लड ग्रुप ए बी है. ओके, सो या अगर किसी का सेम क्रोमोसोम, ओके, सेम पोजीशन, this is I naught, what would be the blood group?
O.
Blood group O. Okay, so these are the different, so do remember, no matter how many alleles a gene has, how many different forms of a gene exist in a population, but they have the same gene locus. Okay, gene locus का plural है gene loci. Okay, so alleles of a gene have the same gene locus. Is this statement right? Alleles of a gene have same gene locus. Is this statement right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so no matter how many alleles does it have, okay, see here, the gene locus is same. ऐसा नहीं है कि suppose देखो same gene, if I draw it here on the lower side, okay, here, so suppose IA IA. Is that possible? ये इसी जीन का एलील है. ओके, आई जीन का ही एलील IA है. क्या ये पॉसिबल है कि एक इंसान में इसकी पोजीशन यहाँ पे है ऊपर एट दिस पोजीशन एंड दूसरे में यहाँ पे होगी नीचे? इज दैट पॉसिबल?
No, sir.
It's not possible. Okay, so alleles of a gene have the same gene locus. Gene locus same होता है. Gene locus means the position of a gene on the chromosome. Okay, now the question is what these chromosomes chemically are. ठीक है ना? हर एक चीज जो है it is made up of something. For example, you have bricks in your house. They are made up of something. Okay, they are made up of clay. You have doors and windows and other furniture. It's made up of wood. Okay, you have enzymes. They are proteins. They are made up of proteins. So what about these chromosomes? What are they made up of? They are also made up of a biomolecule, and that biomolecule is DNA. Okay, so chromosomes are made up of DNA. Okay,
DNA.
plus they have some proteins as well. Okay, so which actually helps them in packaging, जो उनको packaging में help करता है. So but essentially they are made up of DNA. Essentially वो DNA के बने हैं. ठीक, और वो proteins जो इनको packaging यानी they are packed in the nucleus. Okay, in the form of threads. So उस packaging में यानी the way they are packed in this within the nucleus in the form of those threads. Okay, there are proteins which actually help them. उन proteins को हम histones कहते हैं. What do you call those proteins? Those proteins are called histones. Okay, which actually help this DNA. Okay, to get packed in the nucleus in the form of those threads which are called chromosomes, and genes are present on those chromosomes. Okay, do you know the full form of DNA?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is it?
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. So it is essentially a nucleic acid. Okay, and there are two types of nucleic acids. There is one more nucleic acid, that is RNA. Okay, this is ribonucleic acid. Okay, and we do find it in some viruses. Okay, they have genes on RNA, so their genetic material is RNA. Okay, but in all living organisms from bacteria to humans, bacteria से लेके humans तक, okay, they all have genes on chromosomes made up of DNA. Okay, and DNA is more stable than RNA. That's why uh, all life forms from bacteria to humans, they have DNA as in a, the chromosomes are made up of DNA, not RNA, because RNA is less stable. ये इससे कम stable होता है. Okay, it's less stable than DNA, and it does exist as genetic material only in some viruses. Okay, for example, the virus that has caused havoc, okay, across the globe, the coronavirus. Okay, that has RNA, that's less stable. Okay, uh, so chromosomes are made up of DNA, which is a nucleic acid, and it is deoxyribonucleic acid, and this DNA makes up your chromosomes, and there are proteins called histones which help them in this packaging, because they are packed in your nucleus in the form of threads which are referred as chromosomes. Okay, so DNA is actually the molecular nature of your chromosomes. Okay, your chromosomes are made up of DNA. So we can say your genetic material, the material that defines your characteristics, is DNA. Okay, and half of your DNA comes from your father and half comes from your father mother. Okay, so 23 chromosomes from mother and 23 chromosomes from your father. Any question?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So thank you for joining. It was great to have you here. If you have any question, okay, or any query regarding this, you can write to us as well. Thank you for joining. It was great to have you here. Have a great day ahead.
Welcome, sir. You too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
You
you,
too.
sir.
Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, Allah Hafiz everyone.
Thank you, sir. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.